قرينا وفي القبر مؤنسا وجعلنا من الذين يتلون تلاوة القرآن العظيم آناء الليل وأطراف النهار يا رب العالمين أفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. Guys, if you remember last week we did practice all the chapters that we have learned so far. We have learned Nun Sakina and Tanween. We have learned Mim Sakina, all the rulings, 4 in the first one, 3 in the second one. Tonight we're going to start with a new chapter in Tajwīd, and this is the chapter of Med. Med in the English language, it means an extension. Instead of saying a, when you apply Med, you would be saying a. Or instead of saying I, when you apply Med, you say U. Instead of saying so I, U. So let me just write down, these are the 3 letters. We don't have a marker, right? Okay. If you don't mind, give me a marker so we can go through them. So pretty much before I write down, any one of you knows what are the 3 letters of Med? Alif, Waw, and Ya. Alif extends what? Fatha or A, right? Waw extends Dhamma, U. And Ya extends Kasra or A. It can extend both of them. For example, when you say Ala, Ya is extending A, is extending the Fatha. Or Fi, you have Ya extending vowel E. So it can play a role for the extension of both of them. Waw again, it extends U, and Alif it extends only A. Let's get the mark right here. Alright. So again, we mentioned that Med means lengthening, and these are the 3 letters: Alif, Waw, Ya. Alif extends A. So when I draw this line right here, I want you to imagine that this line is the letter itself. Therefore, when I put the A on top of this line, it means that A, that is on top of the letter. Waw extends U, and then Ya extends either E or A. Now, in the Quran, when we come across these letters, when they are in a state of extending or lengthening another letter or the vowel of the other letter, then there is always going to be a rule related to it. Otherwise, if these letters they have vowels, then most of the time it's not a Tajwīd rule. I'll give you an example. Yes, we know that these 3 letters are letters of Med, but if you're going to put here An'amta, we have Alif, but Alif here in this case is not extending anything. It is just a letter of the word. Therefore, there is no ruling there. Or if you have Wood, is Waw a letter of Med in this case, extending something? Or is it just a normal letter of the word? It's just a normal letter, so there is no extension here. And Alayya, for example. Alayya. When you write Alayya, is what? It's not a letter of Med here by extending something. This is just a normal Ya that has to be pronounced just like the other letters. Alright, so however, there is I'm saying for most of it, it does not represent a rule, but there is an isolated case where even though this may be a normal letter, but it turns into a Med. only in one instance, and we're going to go through that instance later on. That's called medleen. When wow or ya, they're just normal letters, but because they come right before the last letter that you stop at, they become med. They turn into med. It's called medleen. Anyways, we're going to go through that later on, inshallah. But now, we want to see what are the rules in regards to these three letters when they are becoming med, or when they lengthen the vowel previous to it. Well, there are two major rules. And I have chosen this picture right here for you to take a look at it. The first one is, or we can call these categories. There are two major categories. Med tabi'i. Med tabi'i, it means a natural med, natural lengthening. And this has less subcategories. And then we have the second category, which we call it med far'i. Med far'i is a secondary med, or med that has some branches or subcategories as well. And as you will see, this one has more than med tabi'i. Alright, so let's pay attention first, or let me just mention in regards to this one, med tabi'i, the natural med, is a med that has no hamza and has no sukun or shadda after it. Alright? It would be just a natural med, for example, saying utita or ala ahad. Look at it. Here's the example. Ala ahadin. So right here we have fatha. Fatha is extended by ya. We read this ala. We don't extend this too long. Just ala ahadin. As a matter of fact, I apologize. This is going to be med far'i. I thought that this would be med asli. Let me give you another word behind ala. Ala kulli, right? Ala kulli. This is a good example right here. So if you see ala, a is extended by ya, and ya is followed by what letter? Kaf. So since it's followed by kaf, there is no hamza, there is no shadda, there is no sukun after it, but it is simply just a normal letter. So in this case, this med would be med tabi'i, or med asli, natural med, or the basic med, original med. Alright? And you have so many examples in the Quran with this med. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alameen. Rabbil Alameen. I'm not putting the vowels here. Rabbil this would be med tabi'i. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Med tabi'i. Maliki. Med tabi'i. Maliki. Yawmiddin. Iyaka. Med tabi'i again. Na'budu wa iyaka again med tabi'i. Nasta'in. Ihdina sirata. Sirata med tabi'i. Mu'minun, the word mu'minun, not in Surah Al-Fatiha, but somewhere else, mu'minun, that would be med tabi'i as well. Just giving you another example of wow. Yes, Basil.
Basically anything that's not with a hamza,
Sukun or shadda after it.
anything that's followed with an F.
Right. No, it shouldn't be followed by alif, because alif and hamza, they are pretty much the same thing, are very similar to each other. So it has to be anything else but hamza or alif, shadda or sukun after it, following it. So if it's anything else, then it's going to be med tabi'i or med asli, natural med. So far so good? Any other questions? Alright guys. Then we get into med far'i, which is the secondary med. Now we have two subcategories right here. The first subcategory is due to sukun. In other words, after med, there is the presence of sukun. Or after med, there is a presence of hamza or alif. That's why the previous example that I put here, ala ahad, does not qualify to be med asli. It would be due to hamza. But then there are some subcategories right here. Or before we go to the subcategories, let's go into due to sukun. What are we talking about? Med due to sukun. An'amta. Would that be med? Look at it. An'amta. Do we have any med here? No, right? There is no med because hamza or alif right here is not extending anything. Noon doesn't get extended. Ain doesn't. Mim doesn't. Ta doesn't either. So there is no mim right here. But due to sukun, we would say, for example, no. We would say Rabbil Alameen. In reality, there is a sukun right here. But it is not the sukun of, it's not a ya with sukun in reality, but it is Alameen. Or for example, you have due to sukun, you have med arid, sukun jaiz, and harakatan. So you might have, let's say, medlin, the thing that we mentioned earlier. Quraysh. لإلاف قريش. Qurayshin. So we have ya, and this ya has a sukun. But because this ya comes before the last letter that you stop at, even though it's a natural, remember we just mentioned earlier at the beginning, even though this ya is a natural ya with a sukun, but because it's coming right before the last letter that we stop at, and it is one of the letters of med, essentially it is one of the letters of med, even though it does not represent med here, but essentially it is one of the letters of med. The problem is that it is coming right before the harf mawquf. Harf mawquf means the last letter that you stop at. What happens? The poor guy right here has to be stretched. Right? Ya has to be stretched. Quraysh has to become a med. Rahim too, that's med arid, this sukun. This would be medlin, for example. لإلاف قريش إلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف. Same thing, right? So you have med arid. Med arid is a normal med that comes right before the last letter that you stop at. So what's happening there? Again, I'm going to go back to Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil Alameen. Let's forget about this sukun right here, because that is not the big deal. The big deal is right here, the harf mawquf. Harf mawquf is sakina. In reality, harf mawquf may not be sakina, because in reality, right here, we read it Rabbil Alameen. Right? This is how it is in reality. But because we stop at it, if we stop, then what happens to this noon? Noon becomes sakina. So med due to sukun. So since the last letter that we stop it becomes sakina. Therefore this med right here can be extended, and it can go for long extension. It's up to you the way how you're reading 2 harakas or 4 harakas. Those people who are using, a reading hadr, which is a fast reading, They're not gonna stop that long. For example, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This would be normal. Or if you're reading in a tahqiqi way, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. You can see that this is extended more. Because it depends on the reading, what kind of reading you're doing. Slower, more extension. Faster, less extension. But this is, again, med arid lis-sukun, it's called. Due to sukun. And you can see that the sukun is the last letter or the harf mawquf. It becomes sakina. Not that originally this is with sukun. But because you stop at it, the rule when you stop at the last letter is that you do it with sukun. Any questions before we move on? Alright. So, this is the first category right here that we're talking about. Due to sukun. So we have mad'arid lis-sukun. Jaiz. Jaiz, what does it mean jaiz? Anyone knows what is the word jaiz? This is in fiqh too, in jurisprudence. Huh? Permissible. Acceptable. Huh? Legal. I mean, not legal necessarily, but permissible or allowed. Right. Allowed. Why is it allowed? Because you can, remember what I said? 2 harakas. Depends on how you're reading. 4. Or it can go up to 6 harakat. 6 would be even a little bit longer than what I was doing for the second reading. Alright. And then we have another med called med lazim. Med lazim, yes. Sure.
Any sentence, I don't know if there is any sentence exist here, but if any sentence is ending with alif waw in Judul Sukun, so how to extend that? It is ending with
If it's ending with this, then it's just 2 harakas.
Is there any example?
Alright. An example of that would be ala, and you end it right there. Ya is last letter that you stop at, and ya, it is a med there, so ala, that's it. The pronunciation of it or the reading of it is as you're reading med tabi'i, med asli. Alright? Because it is med asli, regardless whether you stop at it or you don't stop at it, it is med asli. Alright? Alright, so we're doing right here med lazim. What is med lazim? Med lazim is when you have, let me erase these. A shadda after med. And the reason why there is a shadda is because in reality there are 2 letters similar to each other before the shadda. But the first one is sakina and the other one is mutaharrika. So the first one has a sukun and the second one has a vowel. Let's get an example of that. The word ad-dallin. Let me erase this too. This requires attention, guys. This is a little bit more complicated. But easy though, not that hard. Alright, you know Surah Al-Fatiha? It ends with وَلَا right? وَلَا Okay. So how many meds do we have here? We have 1 and we have 2. The first med is, we call this med lazim. And the second med is med arid li sukun. Or sometimes it is called med arid. Now we want to learn about med lazim. Usually, when we see a shadda after med, it is an indication that this med is med lazim. And the timing is 6 harakas. وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ.
You say 6 harakas means 6 seconds?
Approximately, less than that actually. It would be approximately 3. 1, 2, 3, or maybe between 3 and 4.
4.5 seconds.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It goes like that. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or raising the finger and putting it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In reality, now let's focus right here. In reality, there are 2 lambs right here. In reality, but it is not written like that. Because the first one is merged into the second one. Wa ladda lean. And actually there is no shadda. So this is how I would write it. This would be the right way of writing it. Well, this is the right way of writing it too, but if I have to write it in its essential form, in its original form, this is how it has to be written. The first one has a sukun, and the second one is mutaharrika. So it has this E right here, kasra, without shadda. But since we are merging this lam into the second lam, this becomes mutashaddida. It has that stress. It is stressed, doubled. And always, so again, we're dealing with a letter here with sukun that comes right after. Right after what? After med, right? We're dealing with a letter with sukun that comes right after med. And that's why we put this med lazim under the category of due to sukun. Med due to sukun. Is it clear? But again, when we read and when we see it in the Arabic text, in the Quran, you're not going to see this lam at all. You're going to see it like this, with shadda, with only one lam, which is an indication, as I said, this is an indication that this phenomenon that's happening right there, it is med lazim. So one more time, just to be correct and to have the right understanding. This is shadda, this is a simple indication that tells us that this is med lazim. So when I see it, a shadda after med, I know that this is med lazim. But not because of the shadda, but because of this original state that the word is in. Because of this lam with sukun in reality, which is not written like that. Let's give another example. ألم تر إلى الذي حاج إبراهيم. حاج. We have right here ha, which is med, and then there is jim. But in reality there are 2 jims. The first one is with sukun. But the way how you will find it in the Quran, hajjah. So the moment I see shadda, right before it there is a med, then I would consider this automatically med lazim. ألم تر إلى الذي حاج إبراهيم. You don't have to do that حاج. You can do حاج إبراهيم. You can do it like that too. Either way it's acceptable. الحاقة. Qaf after the med has shadda. Again, this is med lazim. In reality, there are 2 qafs. First, sakina, and the other one with a vowel, fatha. Any questions, guys, in regards to med lazim? Med lazim lis-sukun. Is it clear? Too complicated?
After the mud, it is sukun, it is lam. When the mud
is after, before the sukoon, it is alif, right? Is that the difference, basically?
So again, there is a very small difference between both of these. Mad arid lissukun and mad lazim lissukun. The difference is that mad arid lissukun has a letter after it on which you're going to stop, and it is considered to be harf mawqoof, the letter you stop at. In the other case, mad lazim, it's not necessarily going to be the letter that you stop at. It can be, but not necessarily. And that is not going to be harf. So you're not going to stop at the harf with sukoon, but you're going to have the first harf with sukoon and the other harf, the other letter after it, mutaharrika, that has a vowel, a, e, u, whatever it has. So you're not stopping at the other letter with sukoon. And by the way, to make it easier, it is written, the way how it is written is, for people to understand, like only with a shadda, because they're both merged into one. Both similar letters, they're merged into one. But in the example of arid li-sukoon, we don't have two letters merged in one. We just have one letter, which is harf mawqoof. It becomes sakina, the med before it, that's it. Clear?
It's very clear after explaining, but why is the mud not written?
Why?
Is the mud not put on the word previous to that?
It is put.
That's not what you have explained.
Right. I said the first harf right here, like wala dallin. Wala dallin. It's not put in order to make it easy to read. And in reality, when you write, you're not going to write that in Arabic.
That is what I
Yeah, you never write that first one. This is how the language is.
They're basically combined.
They're combined automatically. They're combined automatically, so they come into that form like that.
So the shadda basically means that there's two of the L's.
Exactly.
Wala dallin, two
yes.
of those, but they're
They are-
combined in one. So you can say wala dallin.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
very clear in Hajj also.
Hajja, yes. Hajja. Hajja. So both jeems into one. Haqqa, same thing. Alright? But like I said, for people, when they read, it's simple. The shadda right after med. That's what it signifies. That it is med lazim. Alright, so let's go to the other category right here. And this now, here we have med due to hamza. And there are here med munfasil jaiz, med muttasil wajib. And I'm going to talk to you about why this is jaiz, why this is called jaiz, and why muttasil is called wajib. First of all, we're familiar with the word med, right? We know now what med is. And now we see that we have a hamza here, either in a alif form or just a hamza by itself. It can be like, for example, amana, right? Let's get an example before the word amana. Ha, let me just put ha, amana. Even though this is not a complete word, but I'm just writing the last letters right here. This is the med, and then you have a. Right? So this one right here is going to be med due to hamza. Alright? And in this case right here is going to fall under munfasil. But anyways, we'll get into that explanation later. Or you can have ma unzila. Unzila. So you have right here the whole alif. Instead of just hamza and alif after, you can have the whole alif, which is the same thing, doesn't make a difference. Now, we said munfasil. Munfasil means separated Faslun comes from the Arabic word faslun. It's like a group, a separate group. So med munfasil, med that is disconnected or separated. Jaiz means permissible. We went over this one. Why is it jaiz again? Because it's in your hand on how long to extend that med. What are the harakas? 2, 4, or 5 harakas. You can extend this. And again, based on the reading. If you read slow, then you can extend this between 4 to 5 harakas. If you're going to read fast, you're not going to stay long at these ones. For example, you're going to say, وَمَا أُنزِلَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ. You're going to treat it pretty much like a med tabi'i. Med asli. Alright guys? If you're going to read fast. If you're going to read slow, then you can extend that more. So, let's come up with a few more examples. But first of all, why is it called munfasil? It's called munfasil because the hamza, or the alif, that comes after med, it is not a part of the word. It's not a part of the first word, but it is a part of the second word. Right here, ma anzala. How many words do we have? We have 2 words. The first word is ma, and the second word is unzila. I said anzala. It can be anzala, unzila, same thing. So anzala, it's a second word. So therefore, this hamza or alif right here is what? It belongs to this word. It is not a part of the first word. That's why it's called munfasil, because there is a separation.
It's linked to the first word.
Nope, it's not linked to the first word. It is linked to the second word. Anzala, is a part of the nazala, anzala. I cannot, because if I say that this hamza or alif is a part of the first word, then I have to do it ma'u, ma'u. There is no word ma'u. I mean, that is written this way, right? Actually, there is ma'un or ma, but not this way. This has no meaning. This is a part of the second word. There are 2 different words. Who can give me another example? Let's get another example. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Can that be an example of med munfasil jaiz? Look at this. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Right here we have na, and then right here we have hamza. Can it be? Nope. Why not? Because of noon. Noon here is not a med, this noon. It requires to have a med before it. Alright? So that's why this doesn't qualify to be munfasil, med munfasil. Give me another example. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ. That's great. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ. Alright. So right here we have hamza or alif. And right here we have med. Adraka, this is a part of the second word. The hamza or alif is a part of the second word. So there is a separation between 2 words. Another example. وَمَا أَصَابَ. وَمَا أُوتِيَتْ. أُوتِيتَ. Ya ayyuha. Barakallahu feek for mentioning this example. Because actually this is a med munfasil, jaiz. But I want you guys to see this phenomenon because this is a very unique example. Why is it unique? Because it looks like it's in one word, but in reality, the alif is a part of the second word, even though in the Qur'an they're written as in one word. How? Look at it. When we write Arabic, we can write it like this. Ya ayyuha, right? In normal Arabic. But when you see it in the Quran, you will see ya with this kind of a wavy sign on top of it, and then Ya ayyuha. There is no alif after, but it comes right with like this, right? Ya, it can be like that, but usually they don't write that. So, oh, you're talking about the alif here, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right here. Ya. Sorry for being a little bit small, but I think you can all see it, right?
Yeah.
So you have ya, It looks like it's in one word, but actually these are two. Ya is a separate word, a separate article actually, or particle, sorry. And then it belongs to the second word. Ya ayyuha, even though they look like they're in one word right here. This is a very unique and rare example that you would see in the Quran. I can't remember of any other words where you have both of them together.
But wherever that baby sign is there, automatically we will, we will give 2 harakah for that word, 2 or 3.
So this is called, right, so this is called med munfasil jaiz. Meaning if you want to give it 2 harakas to ya, you can, 4 or 5. It's up to you. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. That's perfect, if you're reading fast. So now we go to the next one. The next category of hamza, due to hamza, is called med muttasil wajib. Muttasil is the opposite of munfasil. Muttasil means ittasala, connected. Muttasil, something that is connected. But now instead of jaiz, we have another word here, wajib. And I believe you're familiar from fiqh too, with the word wajib. What does it mean?
Mandatory.
It's a mandatory. In other words, connecting or the connection, because of that connection, it becomes mandatory to do what? To extend it. And the minimum here is 4 harakas, 5 harakas, up to 6 harakas. So muttasil, connected. How is it connected? Either alif or hamza is going to be a part of the same word. So you're going to have in one word med followed by hamza. In one word, not between 2 words. So alif or hamza is not going to be a part of the next word, but it's going to be a part of the same exact word. It can be in the middle of it, or it can be towards the end of the, right, it can be the last letter that you stop at, the hamza. For example, malaika. عليها ملائكة. Let's write this example down. And then we're going to finish for tonight. We're going to read a little bit from the Quran quickly and see if we have any examples there of med lazim, med arid, med muttasil, and med munfasil. These 4. The first example is when hamza is in the end of the word. As-sama. زينا السماء الدنيا. السماء. Wait. Here is when the hamza is at the end of the word. سماء الدنيا. Okay. So we have 2 separate words. The first word is sama, and the second word is ad-dunya. Is this hamza part of the first word or a part of the second word? And it is obvious, it's a part of the first word. Therefore, since the hamza, it's a part of the first word, this med has to be extended. It is wajib to extend it. It is mandatory to extend it, and we can extend it either 4, 5, or 6 harakas. How do I say it? وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا. I extended it. I gave it 6 harakas. The other example is when you have the same med muttasil, wajib, in the middle of the word. And I'll take the example of Afsal right here. You said هؤلاء. هؤلاء. Actually, we have two. Subhanallah, this is more unique. Because you have two med muttasils in one word. Ha, you can see it. Ha, it has what? Hamza after it. U, right? So then that means that I have to extend this at least for ha, ulai, ha, ulai. Two in one word. This is also a very unique example. Another example is malaika. Malaika. And usually you will have this wavy sign always for med muttasil or for med munfasil in the Quran, which is an indication that it's going to be either lazim, muttasil, or munfasil. And sometimes med sila al-kubra. We will take that later inshallah, perhaps next week. But it's going to be one of the four examples if you see this wavy sign right here. So anyways, go back to the example. Malaikata. You can see that Hamza is right in the middle of the word. It is a part of the word. Therefore, it is wajib for me to extend the med right here between 4 to 6 harakas. Here, we give an example where the med is at the end, when the Hamza is at the end of the word. And here, we have an example where Hamza is in the middle of the word. Same category. Med, muttasil, wajib. Now we know what med munfasil means, and we know what med muttasil means, and we know what is jaiz and what is wajib and why they're put right there. Any questions, guys? Before we start with some examples. Sister, did you want to mention an example? Please. Wara'a. Wara'a. Is it or not? Muttasil, wajib. Is it? Yes. Because you have ra. This is a med. And it is ending with hamza. Ra'a. So wajib, meaning that I have to extend it between 4 to 6 harakas. Thank you. Alright. So let's read a little bit of the Quran where we left off last time. Hafiz. And next time, inshallah, we're going to continue with the rest of med, chapter of med. There are a few more things. Inshallah, next time we should be able to complete at least the rules. But then it's going to take us 1 or 2 other lessons or classes in order to practice and to have the right understanding, not only theoretically, but also in practice too. So we master this chapter, inshallah. We are in the story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam and Sayyidatuna Hawa. You can put this back there. No, right. قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا, right? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي هُدًى فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. What would be this one? يَحْزَنُونَ. Nope. مد عارض. مد عارض للسكون. You can just say مد عارض, that's good enough. والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك. بِآيَاتِنَا. What would this be? What kind of med? Med munfasil. Two separate, right? Good. Munfasil. How about this one? أُولَئِكَ. Muttasil. This is the opposite. Because this hamza is a part of the word here. This hamza here, or alif, was not a part of this word. That's why we call it munfasil, separate. But this hamza right here is a part of ulaika. It's right in the middle. أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. What is this? Med arid. And the timing is 2 up to 6. Ashabu. What is this? What kind of med? Asli. Or tabi'i, right? I want you guys to get used to the Arabic terms instead of just regular or natural. Tabi'i or asli. Ya bani Isra'ila. Ya bani. Ya bani Isra'ila. What is bani? Mad? Muttasil or munfasil? Munfasil. Munfasil. Isra'ila. Mad muttasil or munfasil? Muttasil. Muttasil. Because hamza, it's a part of the same word. Munfasil here, hamza, it's a part of this one. Isra'ila, muttasil. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. منفصل. Beautiful. وأوفوا بعهدي. أوفي. 2 words. And that makes it med? Munfasil. Beautiful. أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. عارض. فارهبون. Where did it go? Eyes are flying. وآمنوا بما أنزلته. بما مد منفصل. Come on guys. منفصل. مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به. منفصل. مد منفصل. ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون. مد عارض. ولا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل وتكتموا الحق وأنتم تعلمون. مد عارض. وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واركعوا مع الراكعين. مد عارض. أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون. مد عارض. واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين. مد عارض again, right? Hafiz Fawaz, would you like to read this? الذين
يظنون أنهم ملاقو ربهم وأنهم إليه راجعون.
Again, here we don't have any except من أصل من الطبيعي. And then right here we have the arid at the end. Next verse.
يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا.
يا بني إسرائيل. Two mets again, like earlier. What would be the first one? منفصل. Second? متصل. Yes.
يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأني فضلتكم على العالمين.
التي right. I forgot this one. التي متصل or منفصل? منفصل. Separate.
واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا ولا يقبل منها شفاعة ولا يؤخذ منها عدل ولا هم ينصرون.
This is the new page, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So let's go back. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا. Let's go back to the old rules. At least let's analyze only this ayah right here. وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا. What would this be? إدغام بلا غنة. تجزي نفس عن
إظهار
of تنوين right here. عن نفس. No. عن نفس. What do you mean?
إدغام بغنة.
إدغام بغنة. عن نفس شيئا. نفس شيئا. إخفاء. hiding. شيئا إدغام بغنة. beautiful. ولا يقبل منها إظهار مفعول ساكنة. شفاعة إدغام بغنة. ولا يؤخذ منها إظهار مفعول ساكنة. عدل إدغام بغنة. ولا هم ينصرون. هم إظهار الشفوي. beautiful. إظهار في ميم ساكنة. إظهار الشفوي. ينصر. إخفاء ساكن. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وإياكم.